Also, I know I'm scratching my nose a lot. Ignore that. I have allergies. Every time I hit the camera and record, my nose just decides to get itchy. I don't know why. It just happens. Alright, so y'all been asking for this video for a while. But wait no more. The day has finally come. What's happening, y'all? My name's Moshe, or the Drip Jedi. If you're new to my channel, I make Star Wars content, mostly lightsaber content. And today's video, yeah, you guessed it, deals with lightsabers. So I get comments like this asking for a full lightsaber tour all the time on my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And I'm always like, I'll film it. But you know, life happens. And I'm a procrastinator. But today, or tonight, I'm going to show you all my sabers. I was trying to figure out the best way to do this, like start from the beginning and go up, or start from recent and go down. But that's too much thinking, and I'm really tired, and I have work in the AM, so we're just gonna free fire it. We're gonna freestyle it. I've got maybe 12 sabers in front of me, a few more in the back, 3 on my wall, a couple in my drawer. So we'll just make it up as we go. Sound good? All right, let's go. Now I'm gonna start with these sabers first because in my TikTok journey, I did use these sabers, even though they're not like sabers, they're toys. I did use these when I was coming up. So before I got RGBs and NeoPixels and, you know, the real high-end sabers, I had the actual toys, like the flick-out sabers and the foam sabers. The first saber I used for my very first video ever was this guy right here. Of course, it's a plastic Darth Vader flick-out. I think I got it from Walmart. I don't even really know, to be honest with you, because it's a toy. Who knows where it came from? But, you know, the classic flick-out. I'm pretty sure we all started with these. We got one of these somewhere in our house somewhere. You know, it's vintage. You know, if you're someone like an Elegant Weapon, shout out to Elegant Weapon. He collects these for real. Like, his collection is insane. He probably has this one too. But when I started TikTok, I started using these kind of sabers. I used the toys. And I had a computer. Well, I still do. I have my laptop. And I had like a few applications that I used to learn how to make, you know, saber blade effects, you know, and blaster effects. So I would put like a saber blade effect on this when I'm editing my videos to make it look like I have a lightsaber. But you know, that became very tedious. You know, I was already a small creator, so I wasn't getting many views. And in your mind, you're like, this is a lot of work, and it's a lot of work, and I'm not getting the views that I really want. But you know, I was still small, so you know, you're growing. And I decided then that I needed to buy my own lightsaber, so I bought my first ever RGB saber, which I'm going to show y'all next. Hold up. I got to find it, though, because it's in this drawer somewhere. No, not that one. Oh, I wonder where I put that. Oh, that's not mine.
I wondered where I put that. Oh, that's not mine.
Ah, here it is. Okay, so on my table, I've got 4 hilts that I'm going to show y'all in just a second. But I'm going to show y'all my very first ever RGB saber. So like I said, when I was making videos with my toy sabers, and I was like getting low views, and it was a lot of work to do, and I got tired of doing all the editing, because it's not an easy thing to do. Like, especially the longer the video is, the longer the edit. And I decided I need to buy my own RGB saber. Now this is way before Saber Theory, Legion Sabers, and all the other saber companies that I've ever bought a saber from. I didn't know anything about sabers, or the saber world, or anything like that. So in my mind, I was looking for what was, you know, more affordable, what was, I guess, cheap, if you want to say. So I stumbled across AliExpress. You know, I don't recommend AliExpress to somebody who's new to Star Wars TikTok and wants to spin sabers. I got better sites for that. But my first saber was AliExpress. And it was just a basic, slim, spinny saber, I guess. It was very low quality. And, you know, it lasted me a good while until, like, I broke it. If you've been following me on TikTok, you know how I broke it. Roll the clip. Dang. Yeah, I was doing a video where I was like copying the moves of I'm a Gundy, who's a Jedi from the Clone Wars, and I got to one part and smacked the ground accidentally, and that was the end of my saber. So, you know, I was kind of bummed for a while, and I was like, I need a new saber. So, this is that saber, by the way. This is my first ever RGB saber. I still keep it around, you know, because why not? Memories. You know, it's nothing special. It's just, you know, normal hilt. I put some tape on it to make it look cool, I guess. It was really thin. There's no, well, the core is still inside, but like the electronics is like very messed up. Like it doesn't even come on anymore. That's how old it is. So I just keep it for like maybe a transition hilt. Like if I'm doing a video, like this video.
What would you do for that?
You were the chosen one! It was said that you were the smartest and not join them!
Notice that saber was in my left hand because I did a transition with it. So I keep these around. Any empty hilts that I don't use anymore, I keep them around and I call them transition hilts. I recommend y'all do that too if you like saber transitions. Make sure you have an empty hilt that you don't use anymore or don't need, so you can easily just transition with it versus taking a saber you do use and you're just taking the blade out back and forth. That can become tedious. So I have this one, and this is my first ever RGB saber. It's very lightweight, easy to spin. You know, I like to spin, hilt tricks and all that. My first ever RGB. So moving forward, after my first RGB broke, one of my mutuals DM'd me. He was like, "Yo, bro, I saw you broke your saber," and he was a small saber company at the time. I don't think he's in business anymore. Some stuff happened, but he was like, "I can send you, you know, a NeoPixel or Xenopixel rather, a Xenopixel and a new RGB, you know, at a discount." But he basically hooked me up with 2 new sabers. It's this one. Now, like that saber, this one doesn't really work either. I mean, it does.
Power
But it's very old. It's very old. Like, this is 2022 old. That's how old this saber is. Now I can put a blade in it and still use it if I want. But this is like one of my oldest RGBs I have. I'm so used to motion control, I forgot this isn't motion control. You have to hold the button down to turn it off. But along with that one, the other saber he sent me was a NeoPixel, well, Xenopixel. It's right here. It's in the middle on my wall. And to this day, it still works. I'm going to show y'all.
Power on.
And to this day, it still works. To be honest with you, the hilt itself is still the same, but it's been through a lot of changes. Like I think I maybe went through like 3 different cores before I have the current one I have. The original Xeno 2 core, and then the Xeno 3 core, and then I dropped it on concrete and it broke, and then I got another one for that one. So I went through a few sabers, not gonna lie. You know, I went through a few cores, you know, here they are. I still have the pieces. I've gone through a couple sabers, you know. The old pieces, I just keep them around. So I can't really lie and say I've been using that one for a long time. I just still have the hilt, but it's seen some things, but it's still good, you know. One of the OG sabers. So after my bro JarKai Academy sent me those sabers, I wanted another pixel so I can do like my staff stuff and my JarKai, and that's when I found Parsec sabers. And at the time it was Christmas, so they were doing like their, you know, the Black Friday sale. No, it was Thanksgiving, and they were doing Black Friday sale. And I took advantage of it, and I bought what they call the return saber. I still have it, but it's kind of, this saber's definitely seen some things because it's like very worn down. The middle section, like the switch where the button is, the screwy part is like really frayed, so it doesn't hold on to the grip just like it used to. But the emitter and the grip is still good. But here it is. This is their return saber, but you know, it's ancient now. Like, it's seen a lot of stuff. Like, the grip, you can see it's very loose right here. That's because this part, I don't know if you can see that. This part here, focus. This part, well, you can't really see it, but this part here, the screw, it's like really flattened. As a result, it doesn't really screw like it used to, like I want it to. So, you know, one time I was outside with my best friend. We were spinning sabers. I still have the video. And she dropped it, and it fell on the concrete and did like this. And the core was bisected. And those plug hounds, he said, beat that. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Have a battle, maybe in a minute. What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
I dropped it and it came apart. Trying to fix it.
You know, that was another cord down the drain, broken. So what I did was I took the grip because I love this grip. I love vertical hand grips. And I just keep the emitter, you know, in case I want to like switch out emitters later. So I put the emitter on another saber. All it really needs is a new midsection, like a new switch. Other than that, the grip is still good. The emitter is still good. This is still their return saber. So maybe one day I'll get a new core and a new switch and I'll bring the saber back to life. So, you know, no worries there. And then I'm not even sure why I got this piece one day, but one day I wanted a new emitter. So I went to VIRE Sabers, which is, if you all don't know, VIRE Sabers is a site where you can get different saber parts or you can build your own saber. They specialize in like saber parts, like the actual components for your saber. And I wanted a new emitter, like I wanted a new look, I think, or whatever. And I found this emitter. This is their Pharoah emitter. That's what they call it. I use this a lot in a lot of my videos. And it's still good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I just keep it around in case I want to, you know, switch emitters. You know, this turned into a saber collection to, like, all my sabers, like, saber pieces and stuff. But, you know, that's what y'all are here for. So, I got the return. I got the Pharaoh. I've got the normal, whatever this one's called. I just got a bunch of saber parts that, you know, if I get, like, a new core and blade, I can make a new saber at some point. You never know. So, always keep your saber parts. Don't throw it out. Okay, where to next? Where to next? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, this one. Okay, so this saber was sent to me by, I think they were called OwnASaber. One day I was checking my email and they was like, hey, you want to do a collab? And they sent me this saber. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called the Void Spark. You know, because it looks like lightning, kind of. And it still works very well, you know.
Power on.
Got that Xeno 3 core. It still works very well. So I got that one. And remember when I said I had all these emitters and pieces lying around? Well, I got a new emitter from VIRE Sabers along with this grip. And then I took one of the cores that I had from VADER Sabers. That's Pixel. And I just pretty much made a new saber. So I attached this to here. And then, I don't know what you would call this saber, but this is my favorite saber to spin out of all my spinning sabers. It's this guy right here. You got the incline emitter. It goes down in a hill. I put some purple tape on it. That's my signature, I guess. And then the vertical hand grips. Like, I use this one for almost every spinning saber video I do because I like to use my pixels as best I can because they look so much better on camera. And this one it just feels nice. It's like my size. It's very slim.
Power on.
And it's a pixel. What's cooler than a NeoPixel? I wish I could spin in my room. My room is so small. If I had Drake and Josh's room, me and my brother would be doing duels like this all the time. But moving on. I remember I was at work one day and I got a message from DHL that your package will be delivered. And I didn't remember ordering anything. So I'm like, question mark? Is this a scam? I didn't know what it was. So while I was at work, my brother, he picked the package up and he took it inside and he took a picture of it and it said Legion Sabers. So now I know where it came from. And I'm like, I don't remember ordering anything. So when I got home and I opened it, these were waiting for me. These two twin set spinning Baselit sabers with a new feature that they call, well, it's not really they call, but it's a new feature that's in the saber community called the quick coupler. You know, you can attach your blade a lot quicker than just unscrewing it. You know, kind of like Cal Kestis in the Jedi Fallen Order and the Survivor series. Split saber. Now that's pretty cool. Ooh. Oh, split saber.
There you go. That's one of the newest additions.
So they sent me these just as a gift, I guess. Cause like, I'm like, I didn't order anything, and they was like, hey, enjoy the sabers. So y'all go check out Legion Sabers. If you need a saber, go check out Legion Sabers. Like, they're good people. They have good sabers. And if you use my discount code DRIP, DRIP, just one word, you get 20% off. So that's probably a good time to plug in my, you know, link in there. Use discount code DRIP at Legion Sabers. And since we're talking about Legion Sabers, might as well keep the ball rolling with Legion Sabers. So now we're going to move on to replica hilts. You know, these are the hilts. If nobody knows, replica hilts are basically the lightsabers that look like the ones from the movies. You know, the ones that the characters have in the movies. So it's still my favorite hilt, but kind of not no more because I have a new one. But at the time, Palpatine was my favorite lightsaber hilt. And I wanted it so bad. I'm like, I got to get a Palpatine hilt. And I think I forgot how we met, but Legion Sabers one day, you know, they hit me up and was like, we love your content. We love the saber stuff you do. You do so much for the Star Wars community, and we want to send you a saber. So they sent me a saber. They let me choose, and I said, can I have Palpatine? And sure enough, sorry, I had to go grab my saber for the transition, but sure enough, they sent it. This is their, I think they call it the unlimited power, which is, you know, Palpatine on the site. This is a Palpatine replica, and this is my very first ever replica saber. Like, out of all of my sabers, this is my first ever replica. So shout out to Legion Sabers for sending me this one. I still use it, don't worry. I got to get a shorter blade though, because this is a, I think, standard 33 or 32 inch. It's long, especially because Palpatine's hilt is so small, you know, and I have small hands, so not a good mix. But once I get a shorter blade, it's on. Speaking of on, let's turn it on. Okay, I think it's dead. That's embarrassing. But yes, this is Palpatine. This is my first ever replica hilt. And then my second replica hilt was also from Legion Sabers. I'm going to show you that one. I've really got to come back. I've really got to make some more room for my sabers. This is crazy. So my second replica, well, to be honest, this was my first replica saber in terms of like it got here. Because I wanted Palpatine, but there was like a mix up in the mail, and I got this one instead, Darth Vader. So yes, I have a Darth Vader hilt. This is also from Legion Sabers. And when I was like, hey, this is not the saber I chose, but do y'all want it back? They was like, no, you keep it. And then they sent me Palpatine. So now I have two. So I have Darth Vader and Palpatine. So a master and apprentice. I would turn it on, but I need to get a new control box for this one because, you know, I think I dropped it maybe while I was outside spin testing it. You know, this video right here.
Oh, I am surrounded by his fear and dead men. I am what you made me. Then you will die braver than most. Through pain I gain strength.
What's not shown is me dropping it, and the control box kind of broke, like the little flap on the, where you, if you look down here, you can see the button that activates it, and it's a little ping that, you know, pushes it because, you know, it's a replica. I don't know where that ping is, so I can't even turn it on without like having to take a retention screwdriver and just turn it on. So it works, it's just, it's hard to turn on. Not only that, but it's very uncomfortable. Like, Darth Vader's hilt is like very bulky, and it's not very, I would not recommend it for spinning, whether you have small hands or not, because the control box just gets in the way. But I can't say that about all control boxes, because Anakin Skywalker's, Luke Skywalker's, they were okay in my opinion. But as far as Vader, yeah, don't get this one if you're trying to spin. If you like have a Darth Vader cosplay, or you just want it because you like Vader, that's fine. But if you're trying to spin it, go for something slimmer. That's my recommendation. But yes, I love this one too. Don't get me wrong. This is cool. And I'm glad to have this one in my collection as well. I just realized I'm doing all this and I'm barely turning the sabers on. Y'all want to see them on, right? Obviously.
Bounty. The Count.
Strong. The Jedi work is.
Where was I? I'm getting distracted. Oh yeah, replicas. So my next replica hilt, this one doesn't have a core because I took the core out to use for another saber. And then I took one of the cores that I had from VADER Sabers. But I'm going to get another core for it. But this is my Darth Revan, my custom Darth Revan saber from VADER Sabers. And it's funny because the way VADER Sabers and I met is funny because there's a saber company out there that, you know, I'm sure they have good sabers. Well, I'm sure they have sabers that, you know, just like all the other companies, they have sabers. But it's the way that they do their business that, you know, rubs me the wrong way. They're called Tatooine Sabers. Tatooine Sabers. I'm a very big stutterer, sorry. But Tatooine Sabers. Now, unlike Ultra Sabers, another terrible company, by the way, Tatooine Sabers I don't recommend because, well, they steal people's videos. I'm just gonna keep it like that. So one day I was I think I was editing or doing something. My bro Zach the Jedi, he DM'd me of a company. He DM'd me this video of a company using one of my videos, and it was Tatooine Sabers. So when I confronted them about it, I'm like, hey yo, I don't know y'all. I don't work with y'all. This is my video. Whatever. They had some kind of excuse as to why they did it. I don't even remember why, but long story short, they took my video, didn't take accountability, kept it up. I reported them. TikTok, of course, didn't do nothing. Anyway, I just blocked them. And VADER Sabers, well, they was stealing some stuff of theirs as well, like the descriptions of their lightsabers and, you know, the history behind, like, their hilts or the... They plagiarized a lot of VADER Sabers things, and when they found out they took some of my videos, and I was telling them like how they did me, we got to talking, and he was like, "Hey, you want to collab?" And I said, "Sure." And then he sent me this. So I'm like, sweet, another saber. I'm sorry if my voice is very squeaky. I have asthma. It just happens. I can breathe. I'm fine. It's just my voice gets squeaky sometimes. Asthmatics, y'all understand what I mean by that. But yes, it just happens. But yeah, I have this one. I believe this is his Sith version because, you know, his Jedi version is the purple one with like the skewed grips, the skewed grip, whatever it's called. You know, it kind of pokes out. Whereas the Sith one is like, you know, more slim. Now, speaking of slim, I love slim sabers. Y'all know this. So this, unlike Vader, is a very good saber if you want to spin. Like a very good character saber to spin because it's so slim. So once I get another core, I need to get some more stuff. I need to get some more cores and blades and, you know, put my sabers back together. Once I get another core, I'm going to make a lot more videos with this one. Y'all go check out VADER Sabers. Love their sabers too. I believe my code for them is DRIP5. It's in my beacons link though. Like if you go to the description or go to my page, go to any of my social pages, click my beacons, all of my saber links are there. So can't miss it. All right, we are almost done. I thought this would take a lot longer, to be honest with you, because I'm even giving the backstories. But we actually are almost done. So the only saber I have, oh yeah, we got a few more. So this saber, now this saber, the Ahsoka series. First of all, I cannot wait for season 2. Comment down below if you can't too. But when I first watched the season, you know, season 1 of Ahsoka, there was one character that caught my eye. She caught all of our eyes, actually. SHIN HATI, as her name implies.
I'm not gonna hold back on you this time just because you're a woman. I'm gonna pretend you're a man. A very beautiful man with a perfect body who I'd like to take to the movies.
Woo! So, SHIN HATI caught my eye, and her saber caught my eye too. Because, you know, I make saber contact before I make eye contact. But I saw her saber first. And I said, I'm gonna get that saber. I leaned into my TV. I'm gonna get that saber.
I'm gonna be in that photo.
And I did get that saber. Now, I don't know how this happened. I really don't. I honestly don't. But the company is RX Sabers. I think they DM'd me on Instagram or they emailed me on Google. Somehow they contacted me. And they was like, do you want to, just like with Sabers, they was like, do you want to collab? And I said, sure. And they had a list of sabers that I could choose from. And SHIN HATI was one of them. So I picked it, and guess what? It came. And I got this version specifically because it looks more screen accurate. The weathered version. Now, the shiny version is cool too, but I like the weathered one because, you know, it was way more screen accurate. I had the D-ring on here somewhere, but I think it fell off while I was spinning. Now, like the Revan saber, this one is very good to spin as well. Let's see if it'll come on. No, this one's dead too. Okay. I really need to charge my sabers. Y'all are so hungry. But yes, this one is very good to spin too. up close, you got the midsection, the Suba, which is how it's pronounced, even though it's a T. The Suba, which I like because it's like a hand guard. You know, your hand isn't going to slip up and down if you're trying to spin. You know, that's very important too. And, you know, I took my, I had a shorter blade in my Palpatine Saber, and I took that one out to spin this one. So that's why my Palpatine one is so long. I got to get another one for that one. So yes, this is Palpatine's, but it's now Shin's. So I spin this one a lot. It's on my TikToks. It's on my Instagrams if you want to go watch it. But yes, RX Sabers. That's where I got this one. And I love it. This is actually, I'm going to be honest with you, until I get Satil Shan and Nadar Veb, if they ever make it, Shin Hati is my favorite lightsaber. I still like Palpatine too, but I like Shin more. Let's see, what am I missing? I'm looking at all my sabers right now. Like, my floor is full of sabers. We got this one. Going back to my bro JarKai Academy, I was promoting him like crazy. Like, with his sabers that he sent me, I was getting the hang of like XENOPIXELS and Baselits because, you know, they were still new to me. And I was like promoting him like crazy because a lot of my mutuals started buying sabers from him because he had like a prototype saber of his own called the Protopixel, which is like a, you know, budget friendly XENOPIXEL. He's still working on that. I'm not sure. I got to check on him, but I'm pretty sure he is. So as a gift, you know, for me promoting him, he sent me this. It's just a regular spinny saber, and it had a short blade. Now, if you don't know, in Star Wars, we call that a SHOTO. A SHOTO is basically a small saber. Really simple. Think about Yoda, Yaddle, Evan Peel, or Ahsoka's left saber, a short lightsaber. That's a SHOTO. So this is my SHOTO saber, and I really like using this one if I'm ever doing JarKai, and I have like, I'm right-handed, so if I like to have this in my left hand in conjunction with my right-handed saber, it really does make JarKai flow more fluidly when you have something shorter in your offhand, as opposed to it being the same size. But that's just me. So I love spinning this one, you know, along with my other saber. SHOTOs are awesome. Short sabers matter. And surprise, surprise, I bet you this one's dead too. Yeah, it's dead. Maybe I should do another video where I'm powering all of them on, like all at once. Like lay them across the floor and just turn them on. Comment down below if you want that. I will make that happen. I need more ideas, people. Wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute, y'all. I thought I was done. I have 3 more sabers I want to show y'all. Hold up. So this saber was sent to me, I think it was by JarKai Academy as well. It's just a regular baselit. Well, next to the one, you know, the AliExpress. This is the oldest. But this is my oldest functioning baselit. It still works. Surprisingly, it still works. Probably dead. Nope, it came on. Yeah, there we go. It still works. This is so old. This is the classic Xeno 2. For those that don't know, Xeno is the, you know, core, the electronics that work within a lightsaber. And of course, they've evolved over the time. So when I started, it was called Xeno 2. And now we're up to Xeno 3 with the Bluetooth. If you want a video on that, let me know. I will make a video explaining all that. But basically, this is a Xeno 2. Because of the ring, it's not the Empire logo, it's just a blue ring. And you have to do like the controls a lot differently from Xeno 3, whereas like Xeno 3 is motion control. Not this one, you have to hold it down to turn it off. If I'm being honest, I forgot how to change color. I think it was hold it twice. 1, 2, and it presses like a remote. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, hold up, turn the light off. We got yellow, light blue, mid blue, green, muted purple. My favorite shade of orange, my birthstone orange. Violet. Yellow again, I guess. Purple, white, red, and then back to blue. So this one didn't have many colors like the Xeno 3 does, but it's still very good for spinning. See, I'm still used to motion control. Hold up. And if you take a look very closely, you can see all the dents. Like, I've dropped this saber so many times. It's seen some things. It's seen a lot of things. And it's still hanging tough. Okay, I've got one more replica saber to show y'all. So along with Palpatine, I've always wanted this one too. Because, you know, why not? Shout out to my girl Bounty Saber. If you're watching this one's for you. I got this one from my bro Alan of Level Up Sabers. And Alan, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I never made that review video. Like, I'm a big procrastinator and life just happened. I still have it in my CapCut. If it's not too late for me to post it, let me know. I'll post it. But I got this one from Alan of Level Up Sabers. The only saber guaranteed better than the stick. Come on, y'all know it. So he sent me this one when I think I hit 1 million views on TikTok. Not like a video that got 1 million views, but like 1 million overall views. And I made a video about it, and he gave me like, congratulations, bro. We got to send you a saber to celebrate. And just like the previous ones, he let me pick. So I said, well, I have always wanted Mace Windu, and then he sent it. And I don't even remember telling him, I want Mace Windu. Can I get that one? I just said, well, I like Mace Windu, and no response. And then like maybe weeks later, I got this in the mail.
Power off.
Okay, one of them just turned off automatically. That's what I love about Xeno 3. Anyway, I got this one in the mail. After I said that I wanted Mace Windu, Alan sent me this because I hit 1 million views on TikTok. And I really love this one because just like Revan and just like SHIN HATI, I love slim hilts. This isn't really slim per se, but it is still kind of like straight. You know, it's nothing crazy going on the emitter. You know, you got easy grip here. You got the vertical hand grips, my favorite part of a lightsaber. And yeah, it's very easy to spin. Let's see if this will come on. It's dead too. Come on now. But it does work, I promise you. So I love this one. I love this one because it's just like Palpatine. It's got the Electrum Gold, you know, and I love sabers that stand out because I love to stand out. Yeah, and if only it said bad mother... nah, I'm gonna stop. That's his thing. Okay, so this next saber I want to show y'all is a spinning saber that I had from Chicago. Like, a few months ago, I went to Chicago, Fan Expo Chicago with my bros Legion Sabers. They invited me, you know, to do the saber booth with them, and I went with them. And they have what they call a budget pixel. It's literally what it sounds like. It's a XenoPixel on a budget. You know, it's not like the XenoPixels I showed y'all. It's more scaled down and more user-friendly than those. It has a lot of blade effects. I can't show y'all, unfortunately, because it's dead. It don't work no more. So now I just use it to practice saber flipping and saber stuff. So I don't even care if I drop it because it's already dead. I don't know how it happened. I was live with Legion Sabers one night rather. And I don't know, the music turned on and it would not turn off. And keep in mind, it's like 12 o'clock at night. And I'm trying to turn this thing off because I don't want to wake my neighbors or anything like that. And I had work in the morning. So I'm like, turn off. It will not turn off. So I unscrewed it. And I was going to take the battery out. But the way this saber is made, it's not like the XenoPixels where you can just take a battery out. You unscrew the pommel and then, you know, it's a battery that's like wired to, you know, the core. So I'm like, I can't take that off. So I don't know why I did it. I just unscrewed like the plasticky part on the battery and then removed the speaker. And yeah, it did stop, but now I had another problem. It wouldn't come back on. So I charged it and it would not stop. It would not stop making music while charging. So I decided, you know what? Let me just take the battery out. I'm going to let it die and then I'm going to charge it back up. The next morning it did die, but it would not, after that, it would not turn on, and it hasn't turned on since. So RIP to this saber, but I can still use the body. I can still flip it. I can still practice with it. It's not a total waste. But yes, they have this on the site. I can't remember exactly how much because the site varies. And, you know, it's not under warranty being that it's a budget pixel. So I was like, I can't get a new one, obviously. But this was actually the last saber standing when we was in Chicago. When we was in Chicago, we had a whole rack of these sabers in different designs. And they all sold out. Keep in mind, the con was like 3 days. And they all sold out. And this was the last saber. Sorry, my phone interrupted me. Tell me my battery's about to die. But anyway, this is the last saber. And Matt of Legion Sabers was like, hey, you know what? Why don't you keep it? And he let me keep it. So at the airport, we was getting ready to part ways. And he gave me this saber. And I hopped on the plane and went back home. So I got to play with this one for a little while before, you know, inevitably died. Whatever that word is. And yeah, that's the history on this one, I guess. Good times. I want to do that again. All right, I think that does it for all my sabers. Let me see. I got all those. I got the toys. I got the empty hilts. What's on my wall? Oh, Yeah, I got one more to show y'all. This one right here. Hold up. This is actually my most recent saber. If you know saber theory and you follow saber theory, or you know anybody who works with saber theory, you've probably seen this saber floating around. This is their Nova saber. This is what they call the Nova. I got mine in Baselit because just like my return saber with Parsec sabers, it was a Black Friday deal, so I took advantage. And I got this saber. I like the design. I really do like this design because they were not kidding when they say this saber is perfect for beginners. Like if you're a beginner watching this and you need a good spinning saber, get this one. The Nova is very perfect for spinning because there's nothing on the emitter, nothing too crazy. Nothing crazy at all. It's real smooth, like silk, kind of smooth. Good grip. The grip is like very easy to grip. Like it's micro diamond. Like I don't know if you can see that. I call it micro diamond because it's diamonds really tiny. Micro diamond grip. That's a good design. And I got mine in Baselit. We can turn this one on. I know it works. There we go.
Volume high.
And it's got that Xeno 3 Baselit core. I keep it on this color at all times because that's my color. What's happening, y'all? So this video is actually taking me a while to finish, you know, because I got a lot going on. I'm working, you know, you're working a lot, so you don't have time to edit your videos. And in between filming and editing, I actually got 2 more sabers, so I thought I would add this to the collection too. So this saber was actually floating around TikTok and Instagram. I've seen like a lot of my, you know, mutuals spinning with it. And I said, I gotta get me one. So I bought one off of Amazon because that's where they have theirs at, Amazon. And then when the creator of this saber brand saw it, they sent me another one. And that, of course, is the POWER Saber. This is a brand new toy saber. And unlike the flick out sabers that I showed you first, this one is auto retractable. So it comes out and goes in on its own. Here, let me show you. Listen to the hum. Look at it. It comes in green, red, and I think yellow. My first one was red. And I'm going to show you a few clips of it. Yeah, my first one was red, and I made a few videos with it. And then they sent me this one, the green one. I gave the green one to my brother because he loves Power Saber too. He thinks it's really cool. So I gave him this one, and I have a red one. And not too long ago, we went to Mississippi to visit family, and we took our Power Sabers there. And I had no idea that, well, these aren't really dual worthy. So I showed my cousins, you know, the Power Sabers, and they loved it. And then right after that, me and my brother dueled with them, and then I broke mine. So I broke my red one. His is still fine. But yeah, I had to find out the hard way. These are not dual ready. Either that or I was using too much of the dark side. Because my bro, Brandon, and his brother, they have Power Sabers too. And that's all they do is duel. And they do it with theirs like it's nothing. But regardless, I'm going to get me another one. Because these aren't even that expensive. Okay, moving on to my last and final saber. And this is probably my favorite saber of all. Because I made it. And that, of course, is the SHÉ Saber. A few months back, I saw Carly King, y'all know who Carly King is. I saw Carly King make a video where she made her own lightsaber out of, like, plumbing parts from, like, Lowe's or Home Depot, the hardware store. I think she went to Home Depot. She got hardware plumbing parts, and she made her own lightsaber. And that was so cool, I had to do it myself, so I made my own lightsaber. And you've probably seen this hilt floating around on Instagram, TikTok, because I'm always taking pictures with it, spinning with it. But here it is up close. This hilt was inspired by Nadar Veb. Nadar Veb was Kit Fisto's Padawan, or former Padawan, from the Clone Wars. In that one episode, Lair of Grievous. Well, the vertical hand grips is heavily inspired by his. Power Saber just turned off. But the vertical hand grips are heavily inspired by his. I love slim hilts, so, you know, I found a main sink tail piece for the body. Put the vertical hand grips in the middle. The emitter is a reducer coupling, I think it's called. I'm not sure what they do use those for plumbing. I don't know nothing about plumbing. And then the pommel is an insert coupling, a female end. So I put that in, wrapped it around tape, and then I think my style is mostly black and silver. So the emitter and pommel are black accented, vertical hand grips to match, and then the midsection, of course, is silver. Then I sanded it down because it was really shiny and a fingerprint magnet. So by sanding it down, it gives it kind of a dull matte look. I hope I use that word right, matte or whatever. But it gives it a dull look. And the result is this. I even added a special blade attachment here, the screw here, that when I unscrew, I can take the blade out and just display the hilt, or I can put the blade in and spin it like a saber that I spin like my other sabers. So the blade attachment was my favorite part to do because what's good at having a lightsaber if you can't use it, right? And the result is this. If you want to see the full video of me putting it together, it's on my YouTube. I put it right here or right here. I can't never tell where the link goes. I think it's here, but I'll put it on the screen. Okay, now transition back to the old outro because I don't feel like filming a new one, but I just had to throw those in there. Anyways, y'all, that is actually my last saber to show y'all. That's my entire saber collection. If you made it this far, please leave a like. If you like videos like this, hey, pull up a chair and subscribe. That's all I do is Star Wars. That's all I do is lightsabers. And if you have any more video ideas that you want me to do, leave it in the comments and I'll make a video because I need ideas. This is fun. But real quick, I want to also give a shout out to my bro, that Star Wars guy. Dude is a monster with a lightsaber. Like, his saber spins, his content, his mimicry skills, top tier. Like, when we was on TikTok, he was one of my favorite creators to follow, and he still is. And he's on YouTube, too, doing his thing. So y'all go give him a follow, too. Go check him out. Alright, y'all, but I have work in the AM. I'm getting kind of tired, and now I have to put up all these sabers, so that's going to be fun. But again, if you like videos like this, please hit subscribe. Let me know if you want any more videos like this, and I'll make it happen. And may the Force be with y'all, always. Your saber is kind of crooked here.
Oh, it is. Which one?
The middle.
Oh shit! He's like, am I too close?
It was more like.